not the first race for Try the Parks of 2026, John Tanner Sprint. This is the pre-race webinar. I'll be recording everything. I'll be posting on YouTube after, so if you miss something, we'll have there. I'll run through kind of what I like to talk about for the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll talk about as many questions as you want. And we'll touch anything. And then we have Ben Carr here. He's a race director. So if I misspeak or if there's any additional details that I miss, he'll jump in and keep us honest here. So a little bit, let's say, so I'll talk about me. We'll talk about pre-race, so like everything leading up to the race. We'll talk through race day, especially the morning, and then we'll walk through swim, bike, run, and then we'll just kind of talk other tips and open questions, that kind of thing. So about me, so I live in Forsyth County, Cumming area. I'm a pro triathlete for the last couple years. I also have like a real day job because I don't make any money as a pro triathlete because I don't win any races, but I get to race with them, which is fun. Um, and my big race coming up is the Boston Marathon next Monday. So I'm like full tapered down and having all the excitement. And I don't know, Boston Marathon, it's my second time doing it. I'm super excited about it. Try the Parks is about as fun though. So I mean, it's right up there. There's a lot less people, which makes it nice, right? So that's what I'm doing. And then, but I've also done Try the Parks race lots and lots of times. I've won the whole series a couple times. I've won the John Tanner race a couple times. It's actually one of my favorites. And so that's what we're talking about tonight. So super excited about it. Um, and who is on this call? So this is I didn't do the survey this time. This is from a previous year, but did a survey of like, okay, who's coming to this call? So in the dark orange, you have people that have done this race before. And the light orange, it's the people that have done another Try the Parks race, but not John Tanner specifically. And then that big section in blue is they've never done the Try the Parks race. And honestly, a lot of them, they've never done a triathlon at all. So if you are here and you're like, man, I've never done this, I'm super nervous, I'm a total beginner, that's awesome. You're in the right place. This is an awesome, awesome race, especially for first timers. Um, it's very welcoming, and we're going to go through any questions you have so that you show up on race day and feel confident, and you're like, hey, we can knock this out. Uh, Feel free to like raise your hand throughout, but at the end, if there's anything we didn't cover, we'll just have open Q&A for the rest of the time. So let's talk about this week. So races on Saturday. So working back Tuesday, you're in the right place for the webinar. And if you see this later on YouTube, it's okay. It's not too late. Wednesday is when I recommend getting all your gear sorted out. So make sure you lay everything out. Make sure you have everything you need for Saturday on Wednesday. I throw a rather that's the link for a packing list that I use. It works for me. There's a million of them, but that's an easy free one that I like. But the nice thing on Wednesday is if you're laying everything out and you're like, oh shoot, I'm missing, I don't know, a tube for my tire or whatever, you still have a couple days where you can either order or go to a store and buy something. So Wednesday, get your gear sorted out. Thursday, so Ben, are you still doing packet pickup at are you doing it at Podium potentially, or when's packet
Yeah, we're
pickup?
down at Podium Thursday.
Okay.
So you can also
So
pick up last minute needs there.
yeah, so Thursday, go by Podium Multisport, pick up your packet, and yeah, grab anything last minute you don't have. If you can't run by, and it's during the day, so if you're like, I can't run away from work, you can still pick up your packet day of the race. That's not a big deal. But if you want to be the pro move, go pick it up on Thursday. Friday, get everything packed up, hang out, go to bed early, and then probably no more hard workouts starting on Thursday, if not sooner. So that's kind of my cutoff there. Then we go to Saturday. So right now the weather is looking nice. It'll probably be in the low 60s when the race starts, and then it'll be, you know, fairly decent weather in the 60s, 70s during race, like low 70s, and then by awards time, probably be like 75. So everyone will be done. It'll be nice and sunny and a great rest of the day. So it'll be a chilly race on the side. I mean, 60s is fine, but the water is going to be cold. Almost certainly wetsuit legal. And when you get there in the morning, it's windy and cold. So I recommend bringing I always bring my swim parka, and I'm always really glad I brought it. So just something warm. Because it gets a little windy and it's cold and dark, and so you want to stay warm. So I'll wake up kind of early, get your breakfast in, leave the house, and drive there. Um, I love to get there at like 6 a.m. That's like when it first opens up. You can get there 6:30. I wouldn't go too much later than that, but just get there early. Then you have plenty of time to set everything out and just not stress. I've showed up at like 7 or 7:15 before, and it's very, very stressful because it starts at 8 and I'm running around like a crazy person. It'll be cold. There's plenty of bathroom options there. Uh, you can either pick up your packet there, or if you've already picked up your packet, you're going to need to show your number bib to get your timing chips. So timing chips will all be distributed that day. They don't give the timing chips out ahead of time. So show your bib, you get your timing chip to put on your leg. Um, and then you also get body marked, so they'll take a marker and put your number on you. Um, and then I get questions what to wear. So ideally, you have a tri kit. If this is your first race and I don't want to buy a $300 tri kit, that's totally fine. You can do a swimsuit. I get a little worried with like chafing. So be careful of what you choose to wear, like on the bike. Wetsuit legal. If you don't have a wetsuit, that's okay. It'll be cold, but there's plenty of people that race without wetsuits. I'll show some pictures in a minute. Lots and lots don't have wetsuits, so it's not a game. It'll be cold, but you'll be swimming fast and you'll heat up and it won't be a problem. So my routine when I get there, just what I do. I'll get there, I hit the bathroom, I'll pick up my timing chip, I'll set up transition, which we'll talk about in a second. I'll get my race kit all squared away, chamois cream, all that stuff. I'll go to the bathroom again because I got the nervousness. Then I'll hang out. I'll start to warm up a little bit, and then I'll head towards the swim for the start at 8. You line up by your race number. So whoever's number one, they're going to be first, and number two's after them, and so forth. And it's kind of flexible. Like they're not, if you're number 26 and like 28 really wants to get in front of you for some reason, no big deal. But generally, you line up according to number because you're seated by how fast you swim. So the fastest swimmers should go first, and as you go back, it's slower swimmers, just so that there's minimal people running into each other. Um, and then you may want to consider a warm up swim. Of all the Try the Parks races, this is the one I would maybe not do a warm up swim because a lot of people they'll go swim and they'll get out of the water and it is cold and windy and you will be freezing and shaking. So just be aware that like either stay in the water, which there's a warm up area, so there's a great place to warm up for swimming. And when they do the John Tanner race again in the late summer, it's awesome. It's great. The caution I'd have is it gets cold, especially when you're wet out in the air, kind of waiting. So point there. All right, we got some chats going on. Let me check these real quick. Uh, and is everyone seeing my video? Ben, can you see my video?
I can see your presentation. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Ryan, I'm sharing a screen. If you're not able to see it, maybe try leaving and come back. If not, I'll post this on YouTube after and you can watch it. All right. So
I
transitions.
will
Oh yeah.
interject just for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
It will be cool for sure, and probably chilly if you get wet at the beginning. But this is probably the warmest John Tanner we've had in a long time,
Oh good.
and the
Okay.
weather leading up, I it's probably going to be wetsuit legal. I'm not going to make any predictions about that until we get an official temperature on Friday. Well, really, we get the official temperature on Saturday morning, um, but we've had warm weather over the past few weeks, so the lake could be right on that bubble. So bring it if you have one. It's probably not going to be as cold as we've had it over the last, I don't know, 10 years.
Okay. Well, I just have PTSD from how cold it was in the past and the
Well,
global
yeah, we've
warming. global warming seems to be
We
working too. So
Yeah, we've started in the 40s multiple times, so
yeah,
we'll be in
yeah,
the 60s at least this morning.
yeah. That that's true. Yeah, the 40s, it's like, ooh, that's really cold. So anyway, that so yeah, maybe not wetsuit legal, but yeah, bring it if you have it. All right, so transition. So there will be racks set up and there will be numbers. They'll say, hey, bikes 35 through 40 go on this rack. If you are number 38, you can go anywhere on that rack. So you don't necessarily need to be, one, two, three, four in that line, but just on that rack for your bike. That way everyone has enough room and we can fit all the bikes. At your bike, you're gonna want to have your helmet, your bike shoes if you're wearing bike shoes, or just your regular running shoes if you're just going to wear those, and then your run stuff. So you'll come out of the water, you'll get your bike stuff on, and then you'll go off. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but have everything kind of set out, and then you're ready to go start the race. Ben, anything else on setting up or pre-race stuff?
We're 6 bikes per rack, and you just got to
Yep.
get in the range.
Yeah.
Make
And
sure you're not crowding people or your stuff's not sticking out into the lane. But
yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, keep everything in your little area. You can't like if you bring a backpack or whatever, that's fine. You don't put it with your bike, you put it out on the side away from everything. So if you have like a transition bag, that's awesome. Put your stuff out and then put the bag outside of transition. All right, so just before the gun goes off, you'll have a race briefing where they'll talk through kind of what we're talking about now. They'll have a speaker. Sometimes it's a little hard to hear, but just heads up. Um, and then the referee will come on and he'll talk and remind of like the drafting rule and a couple safety rules. Then we'll have the national anthem, pre-race prayer, and then they'll say, 3 minutes till we start. They'll give us a countdown. Um, and then they'll have everyone line up, and then they start, and you go one person every 5 seconds, and it's a rolling start, and it takes about 15 minutes to get everyone in the water. And I'll show a picture in just a minute so you kind of get an idea what that looks like. So that's all leading up, and that to me, this is the worst part of the entire race because it hasn't started yet, and so that like the 3 minutes before your start, it's like your heart's racing, and you're like, oh, but once the gun goes off, it clicks and life's good. So this is the worst part, in my opinion. This is the swim course. So you start on the beach and it's all left turns. So you'll swim towards a big round tomato buoy. You'll turn left. You'll see another one. You'll come back. You'll turn. Oh, I'm not pointing at the right thing. Here we go. Let's get a laser pointer. All right. So here is we'll start on the beach. You swim out, big tomato, you turn left, another tomato, you turn left, another tomato, you turn left again. I'll show a picture of what it looks like in a minute. And then you run up this little hill. It's about, around 800 yards or whatever, at least when I did it. And let me show what it looks like. So here is kind of lining up to go into the race. They'll have a big start banner, and you line up by number, and the race director will have a countdown. It'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you go, and they'll help you. So that part's not tricky. This is what the beach is kind of before the race, kind of warming up, and then coming out. But on this picture down here, you see in the background that big orange thing. That is one of the turn buoys. That's a tomato buoy. And so that's where you're going to turn left on all those. Here's another picture. Uh, and then at the finish line, do you guys still have the inflatable man guy?
yep, we
Oh,
we like that idea thanks to you.
that's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing they have. So they have the Wiggly Man at the finish. So you're sighting on the Wiggly Man coming in. If it's sunny, sometimes coming in to the last 100 meters is a little like the sun's in your eyes. Just keep going, and the trees will eventually block it, and then you'll see the exit really well. And then in addition to the big tomato buoys, there's also small triangle buoys. And those are just for sighting. So you see those, you keep them on your left side, but they help you kind of go straight and then turn, that kind of thing. So that is the swim. Uh, See. And then once the swim is over, you come back to transition. So you're going to want to take off your cap and goggles, take off your wetsuit if it's wetsuit legal. And then very important is the next thing you want to do is get your helmet on and snap it. So this is a newer USA triathlon rule of your helmet needs to be on before you touch your bike. And it's really just emphasize safety. So make sure you snap your bike or your helmet on before you touch your bike. Then you can get your bike and run off to the bike course. But then when you come back, the last thing you're going to do, you put your bike away, then you can take off your helmet. So you should never be touching your bike if your helmet isn't on. Um, and then you're going to walk or, kind of jog your bike to the mountain line. And if you're on a relay, that's when you hand off the timing chip. So that's transition one. Uh, this is the bike course. So the first mile is within the park, and then you leave the park, and then it is all left turns as well. So you turn left out here, you
All
go
right
around.
turns.
All right turns? Oh man, I got backwards. It's all right turns. There you
This
go.
is the only one we get to do that at. So
Yeah, that's fun. So turn right here, and then just it's all right turn. Yeah, exactly. But it's about a mile in the park, and then the end's about a mile. I don't have an elevation because my watch was being goofy last time, but this is my speed, and so you can see like it undulates quite a bit because you're going up and down hills quite a bit. And so it's nothing crazy, but it's Georgia rolling hills. So
especially
there's
that back stretch.
yeah, there's some good rollers. Uh, I think there's a couple, yeah, on that back straightaway that are pretty fun. Like it's a bit of a climb and then you fly down. So very, very fun bike course. Um, let's see, some notes I had on it. Uh, so you're gonna mount the bike and then you're gonna go uphill, like a little bit of a uphill right away. So just make sure your bike is in a low gear to start. If you're at a high gear, that's a lot of hard grinding. So keep your bike in low gear when you set it up in the morning. Um, Lots of hills. They're all right turns there. I got it right. I knew I had it there. Sometimes there's some traffic, so be safe and it is not a closed road, but it is a very rural road. So it'll be rare that you'll see too many cars. Normally you see like one or two. It never has interfered with my race at all. But again, be wary that we are sharing the road with a few cars, even though it's very rural. For me, the first half of the bike is when my heart rate will skyrocket. So from transition all the way till about 7 miles in, especially because the first half has a little bit more uphills. My heart rate is pretty high. And then about halfway in, the heart rate tends to settle a little bit, and things get a little better. Uh, if you have an Aero water bottle, that might be a good idea. I mean, the entire race is not super long, but this is a good place to get a little bit of fluids in. I wouldn't worry too much about a ton of fueling, but you could potentially do a few calories on this. The end of the bike is on a downhill, so just like it was an uphill to start. So be sure to be ready to brake and dismount. The most frequently time I've seen injuries are on the dismount and not slowing down fast enough. So there will be people calling out, "Hey, the dismount line's coming off, slow down," but just be aware of that. Speaking of the dismount line, this is what it looks like. So this is the mount line. Um, and so you cross this before you get on the bike, and then coming back, it'll be the same thing, but you have to get off your bike before you cross it. And that's all for safety reason. It's well marked and straightforward. Um, and then the only other thing to be aware of is you go uphill for like a while out of transition, and then you have these speed bumps um, that you can, I don't know if you can go around or not, but it's just like a little bump at the entrance to the park. So just be aware of that. Again, that's a place to just maybe get out of Aero for a second, go over the bump, and you'll be good to go. So that, let's see, I had one more thing. Okay, bike rules. So No drafting. This is a non-drafting race. So you want to keep 12 meters or about 6 bike lengths between you and the person in front of you. And then if you want to pass, you have 25 seconds to pass them. Um, Once you enter into their draft zone, then you have to pass them. So it's standard USAT drafting rules. So if you have any questions, they explain that really well on like YouTube videos or online, or I can answer questions. There will be a referee watching it. Um, and so if you get in a bunch of people and it's like kind of tricky, just do your best to not draft and be polite and courteous and safety most of all. So it's usually not a huge issue. No headphones anytime on the race, and that's a safety issue. And then pass on the left for passing people. So I'll pause there. Anything I missed, Ben, on the bike, or then we'll do any questions on the bike.
Well, we got a little surprise last fall, and they put a traffic circle at the second right-hand turn.
Oh, okay.
And it was under construction when we arrived there. So that would be down where Beulah Church is coming into that 16 highway right there.
Right there.
So yeah, so there's a traffic circle there now. It seemed to work pretty well. They went ahead and paved the quadrant on Friday for us because they were pretty close to done. So it should be complete at this point, but just so you're aware that that's there. And then also, if you do want an elevation and a map that is downloadable, if you're on our main race page for John Tanner, you can actually scroll down to the bottom. There's a Strava map there, and you can send it to your device
Oh, good.
or download it from there. So that gives you, and it's got the elevation on it. Strava does a pretty good job with elevation. I don't think it's super accurate, but it gives you an idea at least.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I should just grab that off of there.
Well,
All
it's
right.
fun because we get to see your average speed on there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That was a good day. Um, yeah, so then we start with the run. So T2, come in, dismount before the line, run your bike back to your spot, put it on the rack. Then you can take your helmet off, switch your shoes if you're wearing different shoes, number belt, hat, glasses, and then for the relay, hand off the timing chip. One thing that a lot of people for their first time do not have that you might want to consider getting is a race belt. It's just like a big piece of elastic that snaps and it has little clips for your race number. So you do not need to wear your number. Well, don't wear it on the swim because that'll ruin it. You don't need to wear it on the bike. I know in Europe they have different rules, but you don't need to wear it here. But you do need to wear it on the run. So one option is you can use safety pins and pin it on your shirt before you run, which is perfectly acceptable. But you can save, a few seconds by just putting on a race number belt and running. So there's a bunch on Amazon or eBay or whatever for less than $10. Podium Multisport has a bunch of them. And if you ordered today, it probably will get there in time from Amazon or whatever. So that's one thing I would consider grabbing if you don't have it. The run is a 5K, and it's a great fun run. You start on like from transition, then you follow some cones. They look like this. They're kind of cones on the path or on some grass. You follow some cones that then takes you to the like a paved running path. The paved running path goes around the lake. That's a fun flat part of the run. And then you hit like a little gravel road area and turn left. And then you run down another road. And there's 3 hills of joy here. So you go over one hill, you go over a second hill, you go on a third hill, kind of turn around, and then you get them all again. And then you come in across a little bridge and run into the finish. And that's the last like quarter mile is one of my favorite parts of any race. It's a lot of fun because you see the finish, you're running kind of downhill, everyone's cheering, so that's a great place. There is, let's see, I have a bunch of notes here. So this is you'll run around this lake and then you run off, and then you come back here, and then the last quarter mile is where this guy is. He's about to come to the finish. Um, and there's a couple, like this first section has grass, and some gravel, and then some gravel over here. There's water at the beginning, and then about a mile in, and then at you hit that same water spot like in the last half mile or so. And the turnaround is at mile 2-ish, right? And then there's 3 hills of joy. So that's the one hard part. It's like, oh man, like it's at towards the end of the race, you got some hills. It feels like hill repeats, but it's fun. Um, let's see, anything else on the run? Yeah, it's straightforward. If Yeah, it's a fun 5K. And then you come in, you finish, you got this blue finishing banner that you'll run under. And you get to celebrate and they'll call out your name. It's awesome. You feel like a rock star. And then you get to hang out for a little bit. So they'll usually have snacks like bananas and oranges and chips and Oreos and stuff like that. If you want more than that, which you'll probably want more than that, you might want to consider bringing some other food, some protein of some sort. Awards usually are around 11 a.m. So you got some time to just celebrate, have fun, meet people. Normally around 10, or when most people are done with the bike, you can start to grab your stuff out of transition and load that up. Photos are often uploaded about a day later, and then you can tag Try the Parks on Instagram and say, hey, it was awesome. So that is kind of my prepared spiel. Um, I'll give some quick shout outs and then we'll do any kind of Q&A at all that you want to do. So you can find me on Instagram, and if you have any questions, you can just message me there. I'm happy to answer if it's Friday night and you're like, "Oh man, I forgot which side of the road I drive on." You can ask Alex and I'll be like, that's a good question. It's the right side. Um, if you're like, hey, I love this triathlon thing and I wish I could have a coach to guide me to the next level, I want to highly recommend Rock Multisport. Lizzie Nitre is a pro triathlete. She coaches me. She coaches a bunch of athletes that do try the parks, and she's awesome. So check that out. I'm like an assistant coach, but she's the real magic behind that. All Three Sports is one of my sponsors, as well as Try the Parks. I got Try the Parks on my shirt right here. So there you go. That's how you know they're awesome. Um, yeah, so I'll pause there and we can open to any questions at all. So feel free to, I don't know, raise your hand, throw them in the chat, come off mute, whatever you want to do, and we will go through questions together. And as people are adding or about to ask questions, Ben, anything I missed or anything you want to dive in to?
I don't think so. Like I said, if you go to our website, all 3 maps are there and you can drill into them and they're interactive. So if you need to get kind of a better view of what the run course looks like, it's got kind of a little hairpin turn as you come out of transition, and then we send you back across the grass. It's the only way we can keep you from crossing over the bike course, and get you out around the lake. So, but that'll let you see kind of how that works out and comes out of there.
And all the turns have people at them. They have lots of signage. Every 2 miles on the bike, you'll say, "Hey, 2 miles, 4 miles." So I don't know if anyone ever gets lost on this race. So it's well marked.
Yep.
Suzanne.
Hey there, how are you? Hey, Ben.
Um,
Hey, Alex.
Hi.
Hey.
So this is my first, and I'm doing the dualathon.
Okay.
Okay. I did sign up for the triathlon. I used to do obstacle course racing for about 8 years, and then I stopped. I got injured, but whatever. And then I do a lot of racing and running, but so I did sign up for the triathlon at first, but the water thing scared me because people go, yeah, I can swim. But most people don't realize that, they just get in the water and whatever, mosey around, but not really swimming. So I was practicing my swimming. I did an indoor triathlon. Swimming went kind of bad. I got in my competitive mode pretty quick and I got tired out. So I switched over to a duathlon. So basically it's the same thing. Obviously, I do the run, bike, and then run. But the first run is the opposite course, right?
Correct. And
Like
it
which way?
starts right down near the swim start on this race. So they're
Okay.
almost right next to each other.
All
And
right.
you'll leave going out across the dam and then go out the back of the park where Alex is showing right there. When you
Right.
come back in, you'll go around the lake and across the grass back into transition. So it does have that reverse loop.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
one to mix it up a little bit. It also just helps us with the traffic flow.
Right. Right. Awesome. So again, I've never done one. So I know don't touch your bike before you put your helmet on. Don't, rack your bike before you take your helmet off. And you said the dismount and the mount section line is very well signage, so I won't miss that. And I guess really all I need to do is just look at how I'm going to set up and like it looks like you don't have like a major area, like maybe as big as a hand towel or something that you have your area, but you can have stuff like behind your bike.
Or even a little underneath your bike.
Okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Okay. And
I like to lay down like a mat or a towel, just but like either up under your bike. I mean, it's a foot and a half maybe that you get on the side, so it's not a lot.
right.
Enough for
Okay.
your helmet and shoes.
Right.
And you may also want to when you get there, go ahead and like go up to the mount and dismount line with your bike and just see what gear you need to be in for it. You'll see it. It's outside of transition. Again, that's a safety issue as we've got bikes coming in and out of that area. So it's a little bit of a jog up to it even after you leave the transition area, but it's a good idea to take your bike up there and if you get there early enough, just go ahead and ride, hop on after you cross the line and see what gear you need to be in and see how it is coming back into the park.
Okay. All right.
This is a particularly long transition area.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't lend itself to another place to put the mount dismount. So I would say the transition area is probably around 250 yards.
Okay. All right.
So,
and again, like I've never done this before. So like there's no help. Like you can have people there supporting you, but they don't help you with anything in the race.
correct.
Right. Yeah.
No communication, no nothing, right? You just go.
I mean, cheering on,
yes.
go,
Right. Yeah.
They can yell whatever they want. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But no
they can't.
handing you anything, like they can't hand you any bottled water or anything like that.
They
Nothing.
shouldn't be, no.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
Well,
Cool.
thank you.
Good luck, Suzanne. You're
welcome.
You're gonna have your it's a guaranteed PR, so that's pretty awesome.
Well, this is true. So I'm very excited, and like I said, I maybe after a year of some swimming lessons and things, I'll flip over to do a try. But
yeah, no, totally understand.
I don't know what your schedule is or what you're planning to do. If you're just planning to come out Saturday morning, we'll be out there setting up all day Friday, and we're happy to answer questions there and let you help you walk through kind of what the course is going to be. We start packet pickup out there at the race course at 1:00 on Friday.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, and see you guys there.
You. Yeah.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Question came in from Ryan. Is there any identifiers on the bib or other places to know if it's a triathlete or a duathlete? I think so. Like the answer is no, but I think duathletes have they're usually higher numbers.
Yeah, we group all the swim numbers as much as possible. If we've had people, so we publish all that. We assigned bib numbers last night. So if you signed up late, you could have a high number, but whatever you signed up for, if you switched, we have it in our system. And if you need to switch even race day, we can do that as well. But yeah, it's generally speaking, it's that way that the high numbers are duathletes. But
Ryan, the real answer is you just got to beat everyone, man. Don't be like, oh, that's a duathlete, I'm going to slow down because he might not be competing against me. You just just beat everyone. That's the real answer. But
Yep.
all right, what other questions we have? Yep. All right. I'll give it one more minute, see if there's any questions, and then we'll wrap it up. It's a super fun race. It's super welcoming, and if you're nervous about something, please ask others when you get there. Like everyone is very friendly. Like this isn't the Ironman World Champs. We're all there to have fun. Um, and so if you're like, oh hey, like I, what pressure should I pump my what tires to? Like there'll be 30 people with 30 different, long expositions on what it should be, and they will love to answer any question like that. So it's a fun group. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, we'll wrap it up. Good luck, everyone, on Saturday. Get a lot of rest this week. Have lots of fun, and say hi to Ben when you see him there. Say, hey, thanks for doing all this, and good luck. And let me know how you do. And when some of you win first place, shoot me a message on Instagram. So, Ben, thanks for coming. Everyone, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.